Now on Denver 7 News, the terrifying situation outside a Greeley bar as a masked man opens fire on a crowd of people. The latest as police search for the suspect.
It's kind of hard to kind of feel normal when there's just like 2 of your classmates missing, so it's pretty difficult.
Plus, a community comes together helping the families of 2 teens killed in a tragic accident.
When tragedy strikes our community, that's our call to action.
And the Broncos are starting strong, winning their first preseason game. We're breaking down their victory against the Cowboys.
Heavy rain and chance of floods. Thank you for watching Denver 7 News at 5. I'm Jacqueline Allen.
And I'm Bayan Wang. We start off with the stormy weather heading our way and the big cool down coming with it.
Let's get right over to meteorologist Stacey Donaldson with a look at the radar on this Weather Action Day. Hey, Stace.
That's right. We've issued a Weather Action Day for the flooding potential for tomorrow. There are flash flood watches in effect here around the metro area. I'll show you that in a minute. I wanted to show you the rain that's currently falling here across northwestern Colorado and along the Front Range as well. Not a whole lot's been happening here in Denver. We've had a few passing storms, but most of those have fallen apart as they've pushed off to the east. Stronger showers pushing through the Red Feather Lakes area with a flash flood warning there. And from Grover down toward Greeley, some heavy rain and possibly some small hail as well. So watch for that. Also rain just east of Colorado Springs out toward Callahan. And we still have rain here for our northern and central mountains where we do have a flood watch, flash flood watch in effect for the rest of this evening here in this area. Now from Fort Collins all the way down toward Colorado Springs, a flood watch is in effect for tomorrow afternoon and evening. So for Monday, we potentially could see flooding in these areas shaded in green. So we're going to keep a very close eye on the rain as it's moving through. Could see very heavy rain. This is our rush hour planner for tomorrow afternoon and evening. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s with very heavy rain possible.
All right. Thank you, Stacey. And now to our other top story, the chaotic scene outside a Greeley bar last night, ending with 2 people being shot.
Denver 7's Patrick Perez joins us live from Greeley. Patrick, obviously this situation could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, Brian, it really could have been, because police say that shooter fired dozens of rounds into the crowd that was standing right in front of this bar here. I want to show you now some video from last night that shows that large police presence. This is at Rancho El Corazon. It's a bar here at 1st and 18th. Greeley police say that shooting happened just after 11 o'clock last night. That's when a masked gunman pulled up in a car, stepped outside, and fired multiple shots at the people that were standing there. You can see multiple evidence markers in this video on the ground. Somehow only 2 people were injured and are expected to survive, thankfully. I spoke with a woman who was at the red light across the street from here. She ended up hearing those gunshots and was shocked to find out today what actually happened.
They were loud. They're not what I've normally heard before, so it was just really loud, and it was quite a few that had gone off, a lot. It's scary because you can't even go out to have fun anymore these days. You know, you don't know what you're going to run into, and it's just gone mad these days.
So according to the bar's website, they are supposed to be open right now, but as you can see, those doors are closed. Right now, police do not have a suspect description nor a description of the car that they were in. We do know, though, that this shooting was not related to the one that happened at the Family Dollar just a few days ago. But if you have any information about this most recent shooting, you are asked to call police. For now, we're live in Greeley. I'm Patrick Perez, Denver 7.
All right. Thank you, Patrick. No, you're all over that. The synthetic opioid fentanyl is killing more and more Coloradans every year.
And get this, there were more than 450 deaths involving drugs last year in Denver, and more than half of them involve fentanyl. This year, nearly half of all overdose deaths in the state were fentanyl cases.
Now, the problem can be seen across Colorado and unfortunately across all age groups. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon joins us here in the studio. And Colette, you spoke to an Aurora family who just lost their 13-year-old son.
This right here behind me is Jose Hernandez. His family tells me he had just started 8th grade. He was being raised by his grandmother with his 2 younger brothers, and his family believes what took him away from them was fentanyl. Signs of a big family are found all throughout this home. And Margarita Velasquez worked hard for her grandkids to grow up in a good household. One of those kids, 13-year-old Jose Hernandez, saying he was a very sweet boy who his uncle Abisaid helped raise.
He liked to skate a lot, so we have his skateboard right here.
Now, the two sit beside a memorial for Jose.
Those were our kids, you know.
Abisayed, translating for his mother, saying she found Jose early in the morning on August 10th. Saying she couldn't have imagined what she would see when she opened the bathroom door.
He was just very cold.
She began to yell at her grandson, asking, "What's going on? What are you doing?"
From what we know, he had taken a pill crushed up. It was fentanyl.
Telling us she never thought her kid would die this way.
Sometimes it's not because they have an addiction or something. It's just that, you know, they want to try things out.
The family doesn't believe Jose knew what he was taking, and they think he got it from another student at school. What his grandmother can't handle is the thought Jose won't be here with her anymore. A reality the family hopes no one else has to face.
Just give him love and, you know, watch out for your kids.
Aurora police confirmed they responded to the family's home for an unresponsive 13-year-old, but say the investigation is open and active, so they will not be releasing any more information at this time. To help with funeral expenses, the family started this GoFundMe. Their goal is $10,000. Right now, they're planning on having Jose's funeral on August 26th. Live in the studio, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Just absolutely heartbreaking, Colette. Thank you so much. Well, as Colorado's fentanyl crisis gets even worse, one school district in the state is taking preventative action. Harrison School District 2, which serves the southern part of Colorado Springs, is ordering naloxone in bulk and training staff to use it. Naloxone is the medicine given to stop an opioid overdose. The district says they have not had any fentanyl overdoses, but they want to be prepared just in case.
We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to protect our students. We've had overdoses, unfortunately, to the north of us, to the south of us, so we do know it is in our community.
The naloxone was paid for by a grant available through the state health department, meaning any Colorado school district can do the same.
Aurora police are investigating a crash that killed 2 drivers overnight. This happened just after 2 this morning here near the intersection of East 40th and Tower Road. Police say the driver of a sedan was speeding in the northbound lanes of Tower Road, ran a red light at East 40th and crashed into a Lexus, which caught on fire. Both drivers died at the scene.
It's been more than a week since 2 teens were killed in Castle Rock by a suspected drunk driver just days before starting their senior year of high school.
But as Denver 7's Christian Lopez shows us, the community is coming together to help their families during this tough time.
It's been a somber start to the school year at Castleview High. Students Audrey Todd and Colton Bellamy were killed in a suspected DUI crash just days before classes started.
It's been really hard. We've had a lot of weird days at school, even for the first week, because people are just depressed. It's kind of hard to kind of feel normal when there's just 2 of your classmates missing. So it's pretty difficult.
Aiden was good friends with Audrey. He remembers her as someone who always had a smile on her face.
She's just a little ball of joy. She was always happy. She was never upset. She was always trying to make you laugh, always laughing.
These extremely difficult times are bringing the community closer together. The nonprofit Dads of Castle Rock helped organize this pancake breakfast fundraiser to support the victims' families.
When tragedy strikes our community, that's our call to action. And, we're simply a vessel for the generosity of our community.
That mama heart really starts to feel it, and you want to do everything to rally around these parents and let them know that they have the love of the community, of the moms, of the dads, of all the family here to support them.
How you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Doing good. What can I get for you?
Just some black coffee.
Black coffee.
Aiden says this devastating loss is also bringing his classmates closer together.
I think this has caused a lot of people to realize, I might lose people who are close to me, so I might as well, bring them all closer. So I think people are just supporting their friends. They're hanging out a lot more. They're trying to just make sure people are happy.
In Castle Rock, Christian Lopez, Denver 7.
That is great. And Dads of Castle Rock say they raised $22,000 just from today's pancake breakfast. And that number is expected to grow after they add online donations. In just the past week, they were able to raise $60,000 just from members within that organization.
Girl Scouts in Superior are giving back to Marshall Fire first responders and their families thanks to some help from our generous Denver 7 Gives viewers. Troop 70181 gathered members of the Superior Police Department, Rocky Mountain Fire, and Vista Adventist Hospital today. They handed out boxes upon boxes of donated Girl Scout cookies. Those cookies came from a $5,000 order paid for by our Denver 7 Gives Wildfire Fund and the generous viewers who donated to it. Thanks so much.
That is great. All right, the Broncos are starting off strong, beating the Cowboys 17-7 in their preseason debut.
We got this. Denver 7 Sports Director Lionel Bienvenu joins us now to break down the big win.
Well, look, you want to win anytime you step on the field, right? And you can say, well, almost none of the starters played. That's true. But our backups and young players were better than theirs. And backups will certainly be counted on at some point during the regular season. So don't sleep on the guys who played last night and won this game. It does mean something. The new owners, Greg and Kerry Penner, along with new team president Damani Leach, got to experience their first win at Empower Field at Mile High. Josh Johnson got the start at quarterback through 2 touchdown passes, one to Seth Williams and then the other one to Kendall Hinton. JJ finished with a passer rating of 120.2. And then defense, Baron Browning had an outstanding game, and they held the Cowboys to 7 points. And Nathaniel Hackett got his first victory as a head coach, preseason or not, and it made for a nice scene in the locker room, courtesy of the Broncos.
That was really fun to be part of right there. I think everybody enjoyed that. We all get after it nonstop, right? Every day we're busting our butts, we're working so hard. And then when you're able to go out there and execute and do some real good stuff, I mean, how great does that feel? Yeah. That's awesome. That's a credit to all you guys.
And Russell Wilson, even though he wasn't going to play, came running out of the tunnel with the team in full uniform. All other players who were held out just wore T-shirts and shorts, but not Russ. He also warmed up before the game in full gear, and we asked some of his teammates what message that sends to the rest of the team.
He's that kind of leader, preparing himself mentally for game day and, leading the guys out there. And that's what makes Russ Russ.
What do you think of Russell Wilson leading the team out in full gear, even though, you guys knew he wasn't going to play?
I think it was good just to show his leadership. Like, his leadership is phenomenal, and he's an on-field coach and a player at the same time. It's amazing.
Okay, coming up later in sports, Broncos insider Troy Rank will be here with his expert insight and analysis of last night's win in Rank and File. So we'll see you then.
All right, thank you very much, Lionel. Coming up, law enforcement is on high alert after the FBI search of former President Trump's estate. Why they say threats of violence are increasing against government officials.
Plus, a loud boom is heard across several western states, what the National Weather Service says caused the noise next.